X Factor Youth. I'm part of the X Factor Youth. Put me on stage, you can find me in the book. Put me on a track like I'm stuck inside a booth. I'm that nigga, young nigga with the truth. Black body with a Jewish mindset flow. Black man with a lot of grind, I know. Inside I go, my mind's on though. I hide my mode, me blind my bro. Never ever did they realize my bro. Grown man making niggas cry, my bro.
If we were to switch roles, knowing what you know now, and let's say you had a second chance to be young and to use the resources given to us in this particular time. I mean, now we're in the fourth industrial revolution. It's no longer apartheid. What would you have done differently?
I would have done good. What's your question?
So let's say you had this dream in your early 20s to have a Lungelo Youth Development. And through the years of having Lungelo Youth Development, if you were to switch it now, and let's say I am you, you are me, and we are able to use what we have now in my generation, what would you have done differently? Because there's always this thing, the older generation is like, yo, if I had those opportunities that you had, I would be doing this, I'll be doing that. And there's that stigma that we take things for granted as the younger generation. And you guys, which we admit to a certain degree that you are able to, when there's a small opportunity, because you've been deprived from it, you are able to squeeze as much out of it. So let's say you had an opportunity to grow this brand called X Factor Youth or grow LYD. What are those small nuances that you would have done differently to make a larger impact in a quicker space of time? But also, what other things would you have picked up that you feel like you can integrate into Lungelo Youth Development, whether from another organization, from other podcasts, from movies? What would it be, in your opinion?
It would be to go deep, not to sit and expect things to come to me. What I find with the younger generations is that I think you're spoiled for choice, yet you don't make the choice. I don't know if you know what I mean. You really are spoiled for choice. You've got a lot of options, and yet you don't go for it. You wait for it to come to you. We are quick to point fingers at the government, and I always ask, who is the government? Why are you not the government? And exactly the same question that you're asking, I always ask the young people, if tables were turned and you were the president in Ramaphosa's place, what would you do? If the whole cabinet was on an aeroplane, God forbid, was on an aeroplane from Pretoria to Cape Town, and they were all wiped out, who will step in and take over and run the country? So stop pointing fingers at the president or the current cabinet and do something to make sure that you make a difference. They can only do so much. What are you doing? You've got all these platforms. Who are we reaching out to? We're all sitting on gadgets. I mean, children don't even talk to each other. You walk into somebody's house, a child does not even lift their head. They don't know who's there. They're just here. You can come in and ask, hey, I'm looking for your mommy or your daddy. Oh, they check they are there or they are gone out. They don't even lift their heads to look who is there. They're sitting on the gadgets. Adults, they sit in a room, 6 people sitting together. Everybody's looking on their gadget. Nobody's looking at each other. And yet, what are they looking at? Where is the dream of Martin Luther King that I have a dream? What are we doing about that? So somebody did something years ago. Well, what are you going to say? What legacy are you leaving? Who is going to say Bliss was here? Who's going to say somebody that was born in 2000 was here and this is what they have done? Why are we sitting? I'm sure if tables were turned and I was born in this day and age, I probably would have my own app instead of sitting on TikTok, on WhatsApp, on X, on whatever other app that somebody else created and I don't create my own. That would work for me, that would assist to create opportunities to generate income that will assist the economy of our own country. I would have done that. I've never been the one to sit and complain, even though I come from very disadvantaged times. I remember when I started working in the insurance industry, none of us were allowed to be clerks. And I said, I will be a clerk because I wanted. Who said I can't? And when there was some exams and I said, can I also write? And no, you cannot write this because it's reserved for certain people. And I was like, but who says I cannot pass it? Let me write. I do have a brain like all of them. Let me write and let's see. And I actually passed it. So it's going for it. It's not sitting and complaining and find fault with everybody. You're not an angel. You are also, you make yourself a victim. So if you sit here and complain, oh, Mina, but I didn't get this because nobody did this. What did you do? You're not an angel. None of us is. So go out, grab it, and go for it. Give it a chance. If you fail, you failed. Try again. I failed matric and I tried again. Gotcha. And look at me today. So if I go and speak to hundreds of people in South Korea, nobody says, oh, but you failed matric. You cannot tell me anything. It's got nothing to do with anything. That was just a schooling system that gives me opportunities, but it does not open doors for me. It brings me a few steps closer, but it doesn't push you. You have to push yourself.
And the NPO space.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel, and you could correct me, but there's always, every day there's like a new NPO, a new NGO, but they don't understand what it means to have an NPO. In your opinion, what are the misconceptions around running particularly a non-profit or an NGO that you feel like the next generation of those who want to make a difference just need to think about before they decide to go to a Department of Social Development to register as an NPO?
You need to know, why do you want to start a non-profit organization? It's not a business. It is a non-profit. There's no profit in it. So why do you want to start a non-profit organization? I know of quite a number of people that would come to me and say, I want to start a non-profit organization and I would like you to mentor me. And I say, why? What do you want? Oh, I want to be able to apply for funding. And I'm like, okay, you're in the wrong space. You're not supposed to be speaking to me because I'm not in it for funding. Funding will find me. I don't go out looking for funding. It will find me. I know you don't like that, but it's people have got a wrong idea about NPOs. People are in it for chowing the money because they think we chow a lot of money, and I still want to know, where do we get that money? Where maybe I still have not found it yet. I need to know, where do people get it from? Because people think, oh, NPO people get a lot of funding that they don't use for the community, they chow it. Also, we find that people that want to clean their money, they think they can use the non-profit organizations. I'm not one of those. That I always say, no, thank you. Unless I get trapped, but I've never been in that position yet, get trapped to accepting money that it needs to be cleaned. I also, you need to know and have some, you need to be decent as a non-profit organization. I do not take, for instance, when somebody says to me, I've got old clothes that I want to give away. I'm like, old clothes belong in the bin. They don't belong to people. People, you don't give them old clothes, you give them extra clothes that you have. You know, I've got clothes that I want to give, not old clothes that I want to give away. What must I do with your own things, your old things? They're old, they're worn out, then they belong in the bin. They don't, I mean, you treat people that run NPOs and the beneficiaries as human beings. They're also human beings. They're decent. They're just not as fortunate as you. You don't cook food and say, I'm going to feed. I actually don't like the word feed, but because it's like you're feeding an animal,
Yes.
you know. I'm cooking food to go give to a nonprofit or to the underprivileged people or people in the streets. And yet it's not food that you'll eat in your house. You cook nonsense food that you want to go give away. So I'm the kind of nonprofit that says, if you don't respect me, then don't do it with me. If you're not decent, if you're not an honest human being, then don't do business with me. So we are perceived as dishonest people. We are perceived, it is perceived as a space where if you want to steal money, you can start a nonprofit. So a lot of people are in it for wrong reasons. There are those that are in it for real good reasons, and some are in it for being beggars. If I beg as Mary, I will not be able to get anything. But if I beg as a nonprofit, then people will feel sorry for me and they will give. It's not about that. You're not a beggar. You are here to make a difference. You are an extension to where the government cannot reach out. That's why we work a lot with government departments, because they cannot reach everywhere. So we are an extension. We are in the community. We are able to reach the communities better.